There are a few bottles which really hold that legendary status in the whiskey world. Today I'm chatting about one bottle that has gone from well and truly loved to pretty much massively shunned. Of course I'm talking about the Lagavulin 16. Now, long-term whiskey folk love to state that certain whiskies are no longer as good as they previously were. So is there truth to that? Or is it just like a heavy drop of nostalgia? I mean, look, those reboot films sell for a reason, right?
Woo, pointless nostalgia.
During this review, I'm also going to give that a little test and see if this liquid has really gone downhill as much as people say over the last few years. Granted, it is fair to say that some people have just never been fans.
The taste was so bad I wish I could have licked my own bum to get the taste out of my mouth. If you like good malts, you'll love this. If you drink embalming fluid, give it a go.
So welcome back, you Scotch slappers and whiskey whackers. I'm Jeff. This is Whiskey. Let's crack on. Jeff Whisker. Yes, the whiskey elder itself, the classic malt that is Lagavulin 16. It's famous for a rich peaty flavour, Ron Swanson's affection, and previously a pretty stonking value at £49. I've had this bottle on the go since 2018, I think, and after opening it, it wasn't one that I reached for often, as in my naivety, I thought that the 41 quid that I paid for it was really pricey for a whiskey. Oh, to be so young and foolish. I always try to ensure that the fill level was as high as possible. However, the last month it has taken quite a hit, and I think it is fair to say the oxidization countdown has started.
Proceed with the countdown.
This is fair as possible. I managed to do a dram swap for a sample from a bottle that someone purchased in 2023 as a bit of a consistency test, as well as to see if this bottle has been affected by being open so long, or if the quality's dropped in the 5 odd years that I've had it. 5 years, it doesn't feel that long.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Either way, I think it's time to talk about all things aesthetics, and let's go to the experience. I don't think anyone can deny that it is a great looking bottle. It's super heritage with the green glass and the off-white label. The rounded rectangle is super iconic, and I can't think of another bottle that does it. I really love that it hasn't really changed much over the years. I am super worried that they may go and ruin this heritage look and do like a restyle like Talisker done. It also has a brilliantly simple and orangey tinted cork. It's a pretty low ABV at 43%. I would say that's acceptable for such a mass market bottle, but I'll see how that lower ABV affects the taste when I actually dive into the liquid. It is artificially coloured and it is chill filtered, which is a bit of a shame, especially for like a whiskey purist.
I just wanna be pure.
Yeah, again, I can see why they do it. It's a super international bottle. It helps keep visual consistency batch to batch, but it's always nicer to have it like naturally presented to help tell the story of that liquid. To chat about the marketing side, it seems to be all on the back of Nick Offerman now, which props to him. He was just a genuine fan who roped his love of Lagavulin into his character in Parks and Recreation, and it's even led to his face being on a bottle.
You work hard and follow your dreams, and things will always work out.
By the way, his book, Paddle Your Own Canoe, is a pretty decent feel-good read.
Breaking news. A wild slapper has been spotted on Islay. We join live to Keith Cam to see the latest. Whiskey tour guide Keith, are you there?
Talisker, Islay. Down with the hand filled, hand slapped. Strathaler 12, Strathaler.
So I think while it can't quite hit full marks, I think it's fair that it gets a big 5 out of 6 Jeffs on experience. Now for the people who skip all my branding and marketing waffle and just jump to the actual notes in the liquid.
I see ye.
I don't mind. I love talking about branding. Why would they skip it? Let's start sniffing and go to the nose. Right, so starting with the old bottle, Let's give it a sniff. It's a real mix of like soft sweet sherry and like gentle warming peat. It actually smells really quite luxurious. I know that's not a smell, but it's fancy. There's like a leathery smell, like a wet leather, maybe wearing trainers in puddles kind of thing. Time for one of Jeff's stupid tasting notes.
Oh shit, here we go again.
But it's like wearing brand new leather trainers onto a bus forecourt and you're kind of stepped in that mixture of dirty water and oily water. Maybe I should just stick to the standard notes. There's some meaty peaty bits in there, but the smoke seems like quite gentle and wonderfully woven in. I'm just gonna have a little taste because I tend to find that helps on the nose. So I'm getting a bit more citrusy bits, pebbles, it's a bit herbal, like a sugary oak as well. It's a little bit fishy, boaty. It smells really like dark green. Maybe that's just like the glass bottle imprinting on me. Yeah, it's a really pleasant nose. So let's compare it with the new sample. That harbour note is a lot stronger. It reminds me when I first opened the bottle, I had a couple of like fellow nerds around the kitchen table and we were playing Game of Thrones Risk Edition, and the second that cork was popped we were all just smacked in the face with smoked kippers.
I'm here at Barry Island Beach and there's no sign of the storm.
Smoked kippers? Who even has smoked kippers? Burnt fish pie, that's more my speed. Again, it smells like dark green. I know that's a real strange thing and there's a few people in like the whiskey world who say similar things. Apparently there is a link with dyslexia about it and where flavours and smells kind of resemble as colours. Like in my mind I see like a colour swatch, like if you've been in the paint aisle for too long.
Wow, look at all the colours, man. I'm freaking out.
I quite often like I taste royal purple. Yeah, I'm not really sure I'm all there. It's getting a bit peppery, a bit hot, dry, it's a bit jerky like. Grounded pepper that has been stored in a leather sunglasses case that's just been left on a dashboard.
What are you talking about?
Like I know that is stupid, but you can kind of imagine what that's like, I hope. The peat has completely passed now and it's very citrus forward, it's a bit minty. I wouldn't say there's a lot between them. I know this is not scientific in any way, but I think I can only really put the slight differences down to these two glasses is for how long mine's been in the bottle. Possibly one glasses was cleaner than the other and I can't really detect a dip in quality. Maybe the new one's more vibrant, more alive, but it could again just be subliminal. Both are super pleasant. They're not quite perfect, but really, really solid. I'm a bit of a mix between a 4 and a 5. Yeah, I'm getting that kind of meat, fat, rosemary, citrus thing, and that's so good. It's gonna have to be a 5 out of 6 on the nose. Right, so taste test time. Let's start drinking. Cheers. That is really smooth. Yeah, I said it.
It's that word, though. You're not supposed to use that word.
It's really silky yet thick on the mouthfeel. It's very oily with like that peat rising off the tongue. Yeah, that peat is moderately strong, but it has this great sweetness, like a real rounded entity.
That doesn't make sense.
I've got oranges and salt, a little bit of iodine. That weird, strange, like plastery, metally, weird note that whiskey people are always talking about. There's that drying wood. It's kind of like base layer that all these flavors are built on. This like dry, oaky, slightly tannic thing just kind of lies there, and then all the flavors kind of seem to build upon it. And that is really good. The 43% ABV, it really does carry it well. I think it's time to try like the sample from the newer bottle. This one's a lot more briny forward. There's a bit more jam. It's a bit slurring my words. It's a bit like sharp blackberries and now I want to say grape schlur. I get that like leathery note again, but it feels less rounded. It feels like rougher. It's a bit more McJaggered.
Like Mick Jagger with 2 left feet.
There's more like a campfirey ash note, especially on the aftertaste, and that's like a bit more ashtray dustier note on the back. There does seem to be a bit more of a difference on the taste between these two. I think if I had these two together and blind, I would probably have guessed they're the same distillery, but not the same bottle. In fact, I probably wouldn't even pick up they're the same distillery. I really do like them both. The new one does seem a bit more rough and sharp, but I think again that could be due to the bottle being open so long. I kind of like the more punchy version. It definitely has like mellowed out over time. I'll be honest, with both of these, I'm not quite sure I'm so in love with it as I previously was. I thought I was going to give them like 6 out of 6 on the taste, but I don't think I can really push past 4 out of 6 Jeffs. Like, it is good, it is really nice, but maybe it's not living up to my memories of it, or maybe I've slightly moved on from this as I discovered it quite early on my journey. On my journey. So yeah, 4 out of 6 Jeffs. That is good though. No, stick with 4 out of 6. Right, I can see things taking a bit of a nosedive as we talk about the value of this bottle. As of filming this video, it is on sale for 66 quid at quite a few different places online, which I would say is a good price for it. I probably could even give that a 5 out of 6 on the value, or definitely a high 4 out of 6. But that is the sale price, and it's probably due to these bottles are no longer selling like they once were, and it now sits on average between £75 and £100 in the UK, which, looking at other bottles, it does feel like there could be better ways to spend your money. Like, I know, to be fair, you've got to remember that it's been lying in a cask, it's been stored, it's been checked over for 16 years, like that's half my lifetime. And maybe it's that we've been too spoiled for too long at the old price, and this just seems like such a massive jump from it. Realistically, I think they should have done incremental increases to get to this point in, say, like 2-3 years. It is in the higher average price for single malt whiskey of that age, but possibly you would expect it to be higher ABV and naturally presented. If we base it on malts.com price, that is $79.99, which is similar in price to other 16-year-old releases like Old Pulteney, Fettercan.
Not good with words.
Therefore, I think I can give it a low 3 out of 6 on the value. Right, so that means Lagavulin 16 is sitting firmly in the decent to good range and coming out at a pretty good 17 out of 24 Jeffs. Now, if I reviewed this back in 2021, when I first planned to do it as one of my first videos, it could have easily been a 21 out of 24. I know having it out of 24 is a bit of a strange number, but if we were, say, to have it out of 100, like the normal 100 where 50 is halfway, not this 70 plus only rules like in wine, it would be about 72 out of 100. I'm not sure that sounds better. 7.2 out of 10. Next, I'm going to have to compare this to Lagavulin 8, which is a real bargain at the moment. And I think it is Diageo's plan to use that as a replacement for the position that the 16 previously held on the shelf. But that's for another video. If you've enjoyed this review, slap a like. If you've hated it, a dislike. Subscribe to support me, and if you want to see more whiskey chatter. Now, all that's left to say is thanks for coming, and cheers to the next one.